Welcome back to Off the Field with V from Reality Recap, where we break down everything happening beyond the scoreboard. From legal troubles to career fallout, this episode is packed with headlines you don't want to miss. So let's get into it now. What's up, y'all? We have a jam packed show for you today. So we're going to jump right into it with the battle of the reporters. Deanna Rossini resigned from her job, and Chrissy Freud was fired due to some comments she made about Deanna's resignation. So let's get into Deanna's resignation. In case you've been under a rock, Deanna had some viral pictures out there with her and the coach of the New England Patriots, Mike Rayball, where they were seen on an Amazon, why was I going to say Amazon, Arizona adults only resort, seemingly very cozy, holding hands, hugging, lounging by the pool. They denied any wrongdoing or affair happening because both of them are married to other people. And they said that they were with a larger group of friends. However, witnesses that were at the resort said that they did not see any larger group and it seemed to just be them, allegedly. So, after an internal ethics investigation at Rossini's job, she decided to resign. She stands by her work, she says. She says she does not admit any wrongdoing and she's stepping down to avoid media attention. But I mean, at this point, the pictures are viral, they're everywhere. A little bit of tea that I read, this is alleged tea, is that the owner of the New England Patriots was aware of the pictures and tried to stop them before they were leaked to the press, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to stop them, and they still were posted by Page Six and the New York Post. But allegedly, the owner was trying to get ahead of it of the New England Patriots. So after Deanna resigned, another reporter by the name of Chrissy Freud posted publicly on social media saying, "Don't let the door hit you. We know who you really are," and called Rossini a detriment to women in sports. These were unverified claims. She don't know no more than we know. We're just going by the word of Deanna and Mike saying that they were just friends and that this wasn't anything romantic. But Chrissy was fired from US Today. After the firing, she says, "I regret zero of what I said." So she don't really care. She probably gonna either get picked up by someone else's network or start a podcast. We'll see. But what I find interesting here is that Deanna had to resign from her job for whatever reason, if it truly was an affair or the media attention. Yet Mike really doesn't seem to be suffering any consequences other than maybe probably whatever's going on in his home with his wife. But a statement was released earlier this week from an NFL chief spokesperson by the name of Brian McCarthy, who told ESPN that the organization is not reviewing Mike's behavior as part of its personal conduct policy, which requires coaches to avoid conduct detrimental to the integrity of and of in public confidence in the National Football League. So he's not even facing any consequences here. And I guess, you know, rightfully so if they're saying that nothing went on. But I just find it interesting that she resigned because of this, and he gets to continue on with his job. Now, Mike did put out a statement earlier today. I'll read that to you. It really was vague, and you kind of got to read between the lines and make your own assumptions. But the statement reads, I've had some difficult conversations with people that I care about, with my family, the organization, the coaches, the players. Those have been positive and productive. The New England Patriots coach told reporters at Gillette Stadium earlier today. We believe that in order to be successful on and off the field, you have to make good decisions. That includes me. That starts with me. We never want our actions to negatively affect the team. We never want to be the cause of a distraction. Mike never mentioned Rossini specifically by name. He said, we'll keep those private and to ourselves. He apologized for not addressing the situation earlier, but added that he wanted to speak to the team first. The Patriots reported to Gillette Stadium on Monday for the first day of voluntary organized team activities. Those are comments. This is his words now, quotes. Those are comments and questions that I've answered for the team and with the team, and we'll keep those private and to ourselves. I care deeply about this football team, and I'm excited to coach them, Mike said. And I quote, I also know that I'm going to attack each day with humility and focus. And what I can promise you is that my family, this organization, the team, the staff, the coaches, everybody, our fans, most importantly, will get the best version of me going forward. And that's what I know. I'm excited to do that, but I wanted to just address this and thank you for dealing with a private and personal matter. So, what y'all take from that? Because it sounded like to me there was some cheating going on and there was an affair. I want to hear from his wife so bad. Like, I want to hear what she has to say about that statement that he put out. I mean, it was very vague and it leaves a lot up to the imagination or your own interpretation. But the fact that you had to answer questions, you had to speak to your family and your wife about it, and the fact that Deanna has resigned, the writing is pretty much on the wall, in my opinion. But what can we say? Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments on if you think that those pictures I shared with you, the last recap, were just innocent, friendly fun. And you let me know if you would like your significant other to be on an adults only secluded resort in Arizona, locking fingers, holding hands, hugging, and lounging by the pool and jacuzzi with their coach friend. It's not looking too good, but that's what they had to say. And from media fallout to consequences on the coaching side, this next story involves a legal outcomes that's been building for some time. Let me put that up there on the screen and let's get into Sharon Moore. So here's the confirmed facts. Sharon was sentenced to 18 months probation with no jail time. Case background, this is connected to the Michigan football investigation. The issues included NCAA violations, failure to cooperate, providing misleading information. Now, we've all seen what happened here with Sharon. This alleged affair that he had with one of his assistants, or a staff member on the team. She alleges that she was pregnant by him and was forced to get an abortion, that she wanted to break up with him, and he showed up at her home, threatening to unalive himself, and he was arrested later on after that incident. He's now sentenced to 18 months probation. And watching his sentencing, the judge made it very clear that the only thing that was saving him from the full wrath of the court was the person that he betrayed the most, which was his wife, who he has children with, he's built a life with, and has continued to support him even on this day at the sentencing. She was there with him. So they made it very clear that he's getting off not scot-free because he has 18 months probation, but no jail time, pretty much because of his wife. So she's a strong woman to stay with him after these type of allegations and what he publicly put her through. It's humiliating. And I don't wish that on anyone, but kudos to her because I would have been gone, okay? Out the door. And speaking of legal situations, this next story takes it from the courtroom to an actual arrest with Alshon Jeffrey's arrest. I'll put that up on the screen for you. So Alshon Jeffrey, let's get clarification of the details, was arrested in California for insurance fraud. Specific allegations were failure to disclose insurance-related benefit payments. Now, I'm gonna tell you, when this came across my screen and it's like Super Bowl champion arrested, I'm thinking he did something crazy, and it was not saying that this is a crime to be laughing at, but it was for insurance fraud related to benefit payments. So what that actually means is after he must have had a car accident. So after a car accident, you must report damages, report payouts, and be truthful in your claims. And authorities allege that he did not fully disclose financial details tied to the claim that he made. Some additional facts are the incident was tied to a minor car accident, he was booked and released the same day. And his team says it's a misunderstanding and the case is ongoing. So he's out free right now. Unfortunately, these are the type of headlines that will supersede all you've done in the league and your Super Bowl championship status because of whatever he falsely reported in these minor car accident claims. So we'll have to see. Again, the case is ongoing, but we'll have to see what comes out of it. Now, our next story, put that up on the screen too. And with this story, I actually want to play for you what happened in this conference. I just found this story really interesting. This is Ozzie Fudd and Paige Becker. They both play for UConn. So the details of the picture that you see on the screen, Ozzie was asked in a conference interview about her relationship and in this media setting, and she was blocked from answering the question about Paige Becker's. The moment went viral, hence why it came across my timeline, and fans has been speculating about their relationship for months. Neither has confirmed anything publicly, but it sparked debate about privacy versus public curiosity. So let me pull this up. I should have had it up for y'all already, but I want to kind of show you how she was asked about this and how she was cut off from answering it. I'm going to share my screen. Make sure volume is up for y'all, but I just found this kind of interesting. So here we go. Let me share.
Couple, and I'm wondering if that is still the case.
I'll start it again.
Paige announced last year on TikTok that y'all were a couple, and I'm wondering if that is still the case, and if so, if y'all have talked to any other couples in the league about how they negotiate that dynamic as pro teammates.
I understand why you have to ask that question, but we're going to respectfully decline from commenting on our players' personal lives. Go to the next question.
Yikes, that was uncomfortable. So Dallas Wings #1 overall pick AZ Fudd sat down to talk with the media, and this reporter asked the question that I think everyone was wondering, especially since it mysteriously has been brought up like at all, and that is the status of her and Paige Becker's relationship. If you didn't know, Paige announced they were a couple on TikTok a little while back, and she was also the #1 pick last year for Dallas, reuniting them on the same team for the first time since college. And strangely, after she was drafted, the fact they were dating was not addressed at all, because obviously that could be problematic for a number of reasons. But after the reporter asked the question, the team instantly shut it down. So I have no idea what to think about this, but what do you guys think?
Paige announced
So yeah, I myself had the same question of why could she not answer this question? I wonder if it's because they're in a same-sex relationship. I would think we would be a little bit more advanced and forward thinking in the leagues at this point, but I personally felt like it was shut down because of that. There could be something that happened with the relationship that she didn't want to speak about it and they were saving her from answering the question. We don't know, but it definitely sparked a lot of controversy and even more questions surrounding their relationship. So I want to hear from you in the comments of what you think, why you think that she was cut off from answering this question. I would hope that it wouldn't be because it's a same-sex relationship, but those really are my thoughts and feelings on why she was cut off and told that she can't answer anything personal. I mean, we just had Mike do a whole conference statement about his personal life. And with these two being, with both women being in the league and being stars in the league, it would be a question that is going to come up. Just really curious as to everyone's thoughts as to why she was cut off from answering that question. But those are just my thoughts about the situation. Now, from relationship speculation and viral moments, let's get into a situation that's moved from private conversations to straight into the courtroom with Anthony Edwards and Aisha Howard. Bring them up for you. So, Anthony Edwards, we know, has a million babies out here, but he has been going back and forth with Aisha for some time. They have an ongoing legal situation involving their child. Earlier reports on these two talked about Edwards questioning the paternity of the child early on, where it was found to be, he the pappy of the baby. There was discussion about him not wanting parental responsibility initially. I even had heard allegedly that he was looking to give her like a flat fee of $1 to $2 million and give over all his parental rights as if he doesn't want to have anything to do with the child, which I don't really understand, being that he's only doing this with her. So it seems to be just because the turmoil in their relationship that he wants to cut all ties even with the child, which is actually really sad. So the current allegations, Aisha claims that Edwards hid money and assets, that he misrepresented income and lied under oath about business ownership, seemingly to avoid a higher payment of child support. Now, that seemingly part, that's allegations, that's what I think. But in their child support case, those are the things that Aisha is alleging. Now, at this time, the case is still ongoing and there's no final ruling yet. So we'll see if the court does uncover these allegations that Aisha is making to be true or not. But I just wonder what state are they in. I need to look that up and see what state they're in, because y'all know I break it down for you like I did on the Dak situation of would he be protected? What state is he in? What's going on there? But it's just sad overall that he doesn't want to support this baby that he helped create and that he is dragging it out in court. Because I'm sure Aisha, I mean, she's a beautiful woman, Instagram model, typical. The money to fight this case, legal fees, lawyers, I can only imagine like that's mounting for her. So I would hope she comes out on top and that he has to pay her legal fees, because this is a strategic money move on his part, in my opinion. But we'll see if they find him guilty of misrepresentation of income and did he lie about any business ownerships. Hopefully she has sound facts and great lawyers that can help her get this case over with, because it feels like it's been going on for a long time. Like, I remember this being a topic on Off the Top Sports for one of their sports versus relationship topics like last year. So it's been dragging on for quite some time. So all the best. And I'm hoping the best for the child at the end, because that's what's most important. Now, that is all the tea I have for you this week. And before we get out of here, if you've been rocking with me, you know I always say that reality TV stars are humans too over on Reality Recap. So while we talk about the headlines and the drama, just remember athletes are human too. I'm V from Reality Recap. This is Off the Field, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.